Hi everyone. It's I had two choices tonight. I could paint my bedroom walls or I could do episode number 7. So here I am. This is really episode number 7. I apologize. It does say 7 when it's 6. I don't know how to fix it. Sorry. Sorry. This is episode number 7 of Snowed, the Michael Snow story. So as we talked about, we were traveling quite a bit and definite love bombing. At this point, I was taking money out of my savings account, the money that I had tucked away that was supposed to be for a complete kitchen reno and a bathroom reno. And at this point, Mr. Snow would say, well, why? I mean, why do you need to do that? We're going to be building a house as soon as my money is unlocked from the CRA. Like, don't put any more money into this house. That's ridiculous. We're gonna, you know what? We're not even gonna sell it. We're just gonna give it to your daughter and her partner, and like they can put the money into it if they want to. But you know what? You don't have to worry about putting money into this house. Don't even worry about that. Okay, so I guess I was no longer, needing that money for a reno, but I was putting that money onto the credit card. I was kind of robbing Peter to pay Paul as well. I was working and trying to keep that credit card down. Um, you know, Anytime I would voice my concerns about money, um, Mr. Snow would say to me, "Oh, don't worry so much. Why are you so worried? Do I look worried? I'm not worried. If when I get worried, then you should worry. But I'm not worried. You need to really channel that stress somehow. You need to, why are you so worked up about it? I'm not gonna." I'm not going to screw you over. And trust me, when he was saying this, sometimes he'd come and he'd put his arms around me and he'd give me a big hug and he'd say, "Oh, babe, I love you. I love you so much. And I would never, ever do anything to hurt you. I am going to pay every penny back to you and with interest. And you know what? As soon as this is all done, I'm going to buy you a brand new car." And I'd say to him, "I have a brand new car. I'm okay with that." "Oh, but it's just a Honda. We're going to get you something better." And so he would take me, just like he'd take me to the, shopping for house appliances. He would take me on to test drive cars. And when I mean cars, he was taking me to drive Jaguars, Cadillacs, Range Rovers, anything really high end. And let me tell you, he could talk the talk to these salespeople. Um, like they really believed they were making a sale that day. Mike did like to talk about his vehicles that he owned, which included the Range Rover that was in Ontario that didn't actually run. That wasn't actually his. He also liked to really bring up the fact that he used to have a Hummer and he liked to flash those photos around, and his Lamborghini, he liked to flash photos of that around. At one point I said to him, "How am I supposed to know that this is actually yours? It's just a picture of a Lamborghini." He said, "Well, you don't have to. It's fine. I don't care if you believe me or not." He said, "But it was. I have nothing to lie about." So it was also about this time that I discovered Mr. Snow was spending a lot of time on his phone. When I had said previously when we went on that trip, it was all about me. There was no phone, there was no texting, there was no anything. But now he seemed to be texting quite a lot. He was always on the phone. And I don't feel like I need to look through somebody's phone because I really do feel like a relationship should be based on trust. This is a huge mistake. Anyways, it was also about that time that I realized that he was on dating sites. I had many single friends that had found him and would let me know. And we'd get into heated arguments about this. And, he always had these excuses that he was lonely. He left all of his family and friends to come live with me in Saskatchewan. So, he was lonely. He was just looking for friends. And, he he just interacted better with women because, he was sexually abused as a child. So he prefers chatting with women, really. But he's always really upfront with them that he's in a relationship. We know now that's not true. It was also during this first year that I discovered him lying and meeting with women. He was lying about women. He was chatting with other women. And we'd get into, again, heated arguments about this. Became a huge issue between us. And, Mike would make me feel like a little country bumpkin. He'd say things like, oh my God, you're so jealous. Why are you so jealous? I'm here, aren't I? I'm with you. You're my queen. These women mean nothing to me. I mean, they just come out of the woodwork. Like it's maybe women I've dated previously or, just they're friends. They're friends. I have women friends. I don't know why you're so jealous. Men and women can have, friends, of the same sex these days. And I'd say to him, I'm not jealous. Like, I'm not jealous, but I am really resentful that we can't even watch a movie without these women. You're busy texting these women. Like that's a respect thing as far as I was concerned. It was also during this first year that I asked him to leave. I didn't want to be in this relationship anymore. I specifically told him this was not what I wanted. I was not happy. I just wanted my money back and I wanted him to move on. He would manage to love bomb me right back in. Promises of change, anything. He would just promise and promise and promise. And he would just be so sweet and kind and just really suck me right back in. In July and August of 2018, we traveled back to Newfoundland, again to Newfoundland. And this time I met his ex-wife in Ontario and his son. Lovely, lovely. I really enjoyed both of them. And I was very careful to listen to what these people were saying. So I was checking to see if Mike was slipping. And, he just covered his tracks so well. Even things I thought I was doubting, I just can't even begin to explain to you how good he is at covering his tracks. And it could be months and months later after he said something, but he doesn't forget he said it to you. So there was always that. The one thing that really concerned me was, I couldn't understand why, if he had lived in this huge home with this indoor pool and this mansion, as his son called it, why then was his wife living in a tiny little townhouse? That made no sense to me if they had been living in this huge house. So I asked her, and she told me that was her choice. That was what she wanted. Okay. I mean, she backed that story up that they had lived in this huge house, but I guess that was her choice. She wanted a small place. Okay. In the fall of that same year, we traveled west, and it was about that same time that Mr. Snow decided he wanted a puppy. And I did not want a dog at all. That was not something I wanted. I had 4 cats. The last thing I wanted was a dog. He assured me absolutely that he would, take care of this dog. It was going to be his dog, full responsibility. I wouldn't have to worry about anything. And that he wanted a boxer because he had 8 boxers previously. And so he really knew the breed, and he wanted another boxer. So we ended up getting a boxer, and I'll show you. Okay. That one of those puppies is baby Ruckus. It's pretty adorable. Again, there is baby Ruckus and Mike. That was, I think, the first night we had him. Now, notice he's got a Marine Corps t-shirt on. Nice. This is Ruckus now. And he's quite the little devil, I'll tell you, but he has really wormed his way into my heart. As for Ruckus, I had to do more and more of the work to take care of him. And when I did force Mike out of this house, and I do mean force, I was going to give him the dog. But in the end, I decided to keep the dog because I knew he was just going to take him and dump him off at some random woman's house. And I truly am the only thing that this dog knows. So he is with me. Stay tuned for number 8. Oh, you are not going to believe this. We're talking about Mike in a drunk tank. Come back. You're going to want to hear this.